Here at the Emirates, it's finished 3-1 to Arsenal against West Ham. This is your Neeks Sports match review. Ramon, 3-1 here at Arsenal. Emery, first win, Arsenal's first win this season. Good result. What do you think about the performance?
Performance was all right. I mean, we got better in the second half. First half looked very bad, and I felt like if Anavic took his chances, we could have lost that game, definitely. But second half, he made a change at half-time to switch things up, picked it up, and I said that in this game, the most important thing here was the result. You know, we haven't played too bad against Chelsea and Man City, but we needed a result here, no matter what happened. So,
but the performance today, would you say it was any better than against Chelsea and Man City? It just seemed like West Ham just weren't as clinical, weren't as good as obviously teams that are better than them.
Defensively, it wasn't good. We gave them a lot of chances, especially in the first half, and we needed to step up the impetus. And if I look at the whole game in general, it's good because we showed a change. We upped the game. We just need to start starting like that. We need to come out with a front foot and start getting these teams on the attack early, which is what we used to do, you know, under Wenger. So
a long time ago, a very long time ago.
But you know, I mean, even looking back to last season, there were times when we just come at the blocks early, score 1 or 2 goals in the first 10-15 minutes, and you see the game out. We didn't do that today. We started on the back foot, and it looked for a little stage like, are we going to end up getting a draw or a loss here again? But like I said, made a change second half, and we stepped up the game. And in the end, I think we deserved to win. Overall, we created a bit more chances in the second half.
You mentioned stepping out, on the front foot. I know against Man City and Chelsea, obviously they're bigger teams, and the manager may have, thinking about defence at times more than attack. So I understood starting Iwobi, but you would think at home against a team who hasn't won so far this season and who are, you could say, generally inferior to Arsenal. I thought this was a chance to start Lacazette and Aubameyang. Lacazette came on against Man City and he made an impact in terms of the impetus going forward. He came on today and obviously he impacted the second goal, got the assist for that. Why is he not starting the both of them, and do you think he really needs to, especially in this next run of games, 7 games where you're playing so-called weaker opposition?
I think, according to him, he's not doing it. That's his call. He said they asked him in a press conference, he said he's not going to play them together. Fair enough, that's his opinion. Why is he not doing it? I would assume it's because he wants an impact off the bench if potentially things are not working. Because in theory...
That's what Welbeck's for.
I mean, there's options, isn't it? I mean, Welbeck came on today and scored, so there's options. But in theory, we should be winning this game without Lacazette on the pitch. We've got enough players to, I think Iwobi and Mkhitaryan give us natural width, whereas Aubameyang would probably like to be more of an inside forward and cut in. Maybe you said that's a good thing. But
last season...
at his best is a striker up top. Yes. And so... I think moving him...
Last season, obviously, it was Aubameyang came in January. And when both of them were playing, Aubameyang was playing left. And he got a number of assists, whether it was for Lacazette or other players. So and he scored a lot of goals. So he was still effective from the left wing.
Definitely, but if you're looking at Aubameyang to be your main guy and get you 20 to 30 Premier League goals, for me, you need to start him up front. I know, obviously, Salah did it. People like Hazard did it.
Why can't Lacazette do that? You spent 40-odd million on it.
No, 100% Lacazette should be, but he didn't do it last year. And so we brought in a better striker now. Aubameyang is the best player at the club. He needs to be playing in his best position. His best position is a striker. Unless you're going to go 2 up top, which is an option, and it may be used over the course of the season. Listen, for me, I agree with you. I think they should both be playing. I would put them together. But I'm just trying to think about why Emery's doing it. And Emery probably, like I said, wants the option of bringing an impact on. If they both play up top, and we've only got Iwobi and Welbeck to come off the bench, then... as a fan, you're thinking, is this actually going to work or is this hope? Do you know what I mean? Whereas Lacazette's coming on, everyone's like, okay, cool. They're both on. Let's start. But if this keeps working, and Lacazette came on at half-time today, remember? So that was at 1-1. We weren't losing the game. Maybe over the time, he might start to realise that it may have to be the option going forward. Yeah.
2 players who also didn't start today, Torreira and Leno. Obviously, Leno is not the first choice, it looks like, this season. Were you expecting this at the start of the season? Were you expecting, especially Leno, to be the first choice? We know the struggles that Czech has had in the last year, maybe a year and a half or so. But he's on the bench. Are you surprised by that?
I expected Leno to be our first choice goalkeeper this season, definitely. But actually, hearing from what some of the fans have been saying today as well, he's a long-term goalkeeper for us. He's still 24, 25, so he's quite young for a goalkeeper. He's got a lot of time ahead of him. It could be Czech's last year at Arsenal. Ospina's gone out alone. He might come back next year to be maybe second choice. I don't know. But I understand now a little bit why he's playing Czech with that experience. Let Leno get used to the game. Maybe bringing him through Carabao Cup and the FA Cup and maybe Europa League just to get him used to the club. It might be a way. It seems like he's doing it with everyone. Lichtsteiner's on the bench today. Torreira's on the bench today.
The only one is Socrates, but then he has to play.
He has to go in, exactly. So it may be, I don't know whether Emery usually does this with new signings, embed them in. I don't really know his history regarding that. But it seems like that's what he's doing. Lichtsteiner ain't got long left in his career, so he maybe needs to be a bit more sooner. But Torreira, you know what, 21, 22, he's young. You know, he's got a lot of time left. Guendouzi's been, I think it's
Guendouzi's younger and he's been starting.
I think Guendouzi's been the problem. I think his option he's in his head. For me, he probably would have thinking Xhaka and Torreira will play the season.
You want to start Guendouzi and Torreira, two new to the Premier League.
Exactly. But Guendouzi's been brilliant for 3 games now. And he's thinking, how can I bring in Torreira unless I play it with Guendouzi and drop Xhaka? But I think in his head, he always wanted to start with Xhaka and Torreira. So it may be until Guendouzi drops off form that we might see Torreira come back in for the start. You know, I wouldn't even, now that we're 3 games in, I wouldn't even expect him to start next week. You know, I think we're just waiting for that opportunity because I think that's his always plan going forward. And with Ramsey, I don't think he wants to have him on as like the 2. I don't think it works well. I think he needs to be further forward. You know, him and Ozil should be competing for that spot.
Well, Arsenal got the 3 points. We'll see, you know, how they do over the next month or so. Make sure you check out all our fan cams from today's game. Just click that box, and we'll see you soon.